fray in it, so we cut the cable and retied the knot. And I've got some extra chokers on the back. That way we can make sure there's, oh boy, guy's trying to come in the cab with me. That way there's plenty of room so we don't get got by the tree. Let's see if we can pass this guy. Here we go. It's never good when they want to come in the cab. We got hooked up. Dad's moving his truck with a ladder. Probably got, I'd say, between 20 and 25 feet up in the air to hook that cable. That way it kind of gives us a little more leverage for pulling. Right here on the property line, got a road and a power line on the other side, so it's one of those things where you got to make it count right here. Like I said, we're spooling out cable, getting stretched down. About spooled out. It's a big tree. It's a big tree. This is where teamwork makes everything work right here. This is where, you know, me and Dad, we've done this so many times. You know, we, of course, just like then, he come back here and I'm off the skidder, but we're going over the plan to cut it and get it down. What each of us have to do. Just, I mean, like I said, we work pretty good together. We've done this for years, and you really need to have a, when you do this in these trees like this where there's a lot of risk, a lot at stake, power line, road, someone else's property, you really need to be on the same wavelengths, and you need to have that trust and that bond, and that's what we've got. So Dad's going to start whittling. I'm going to jump up here on the skidder. I've got to have my hand on the winch control, foot on the gas, in gear, on the clutch, ready to go. In case something goes wrong, we got to pull for all we're worth. So let's see if we can get her on the ground. Success. We got it on the ground. That wasn't too bad. Let's back here, try to weave through here and see what everything looks like. Perfecto. We left that backside hold there to help control it. That way, if anything went wrong, he'd kind of hold it to keep it from going back the other way, and we just pulled it backwards, as you can see. Had to get the axe. Dad drove his truck today. He's got a, I think this is a 2016 Dodge 1-ton. He doesn't drive diesels anymore. That's got a Hemi in it, but since I've started driving diesels, Dad's got to where he doesn't pull a trailer or anything. I usually take care of most of that, which is why I jumped up to the 550 from my 350. Just a little more pulling capacity. Get the axe on here. We're getting ready to go down in the river bottom. We got those. We just pulled 2 big trees. Of course, the first one I showed you. I don't think I showed you the second one there, but deck's getting full. Now we get 2 or 3 out. We've got to buck them to lengths and put them in there, so we're starting to fill up. We're going to try to get a little more ash and oak so we can get another load together. We got the 8s, 9s, and 10s here. Then these are 16 and 18 footers for crane mats, big water oak. So, oh boy, jump up on this sucker. We'll head down the river bottom, get some cut. Away we go. Alright, last tree on the job right there. Cut a little bad. Got some good size to it, but oh boy, yeah, that goes up in there a ways. That's a shame. That's a shame. It's a good log, or it was. Just a prime example of what happens when you leave them stand too long. Here's another good example. We seen this one from the road. Closer we got to it, You see an old lightning scar right there, that seam. A lot of times when I buy timber outright, man, those are bad news. It's more times than not they're going to cut bad. And if that's not a good enough telltale sign, right there, right on up there, just leave it alone. It's got a hard lean to it anyway. It's got lightning scar on this side. The tree's in bad shape. It ain't even worth cutting. It wouldn't be good for anything. It'd be bad the whole way. So in my professional opinion, a tree like that's better off to stand because it's still producing walnuts. It's got some habitat for wildlife. And the only thing you're going to do if you cut it, you're just going to make a mess. And logging's a big enough mess as it is, so there's no need to add to it. But you can see here on the ground, it's still producing walnuts. Those are this year's walnuts right there. Well, that's the last tree on the job right there. We're going to head out to the deck. It was right here along the road. Dad's out there. He's marking logs, so we'll get it out there. And other than doing some cleanup and some road building, that puts the kibosh on this, kibosh, whatever you want to call it. We're done. There you go. We're done cutting, other than some cleanup. So let's jump on the skidder, get this whole thing out to the deck. I've been kind of looking around for this other S-iron, but I can't find it anywhere. I've been on my hands and knees trying to sift through these leaves and find it, but man, there ain't no telling where it went. This log, it's getting a little worse every day. I really need to find it and get another iron in it. It's really cracking out bad. That's, said that one iron there should hold the center, but we need another one in that lower part. Because that's just getting to be bad there. I hate that too. Hate that. We got all the walnuts cut and out and bucked and laid in here. It's a humdinger there. Humdinger. Some good logs in here. I mean, some real good logs. There, got that other iron drove in that one there, so it's holding tight. It's a big chunk of wood. That's a big log, man. It's a long log. This one right here beside it's a doozy too. Man, those are champs. Whoa. Got that steak off there. It's a good one here too. I like these multiple cut veneer logs. I think that one there, I don't know. We didn't cut that this morning. That was one from, I don't know. It's from yesterday. We didn't cut that this morning. I'm pretty sure we didn't. Maybe. Shoot, I don't know. No, I don't think we did. Maybe we did. I don't know. Like I said, they all start running together after a while. And for me, it's always hard to guess footage when logs are piled in here like this. Because, that's that last one we cut there and drug up. Because you just never, when logs are in log length laying in a row, I'm pretty good at guessing footage, but you get to bucking these to length, which I've kind of got an idea on the footage of what's here, but I'm not real for sure. I want to say between 5,500 and 6,000 feet of these logs is what I'm thinking, but I don't know. I always just have a hard time guessing footage when they're in cut lengths and piled in here. Of course, there should be about a load of that ash there, and man, those crane mat type logs there. And when I say crane mat logs, let's go over a few things here real quick. Okay, a lot of times they cut these water oak. They want them. They've got to be a certain diameter. I think it's at least 18 inches in diameter, and they need to be 16 to 18 feet long. Well, and what they do is they make just heavy timbers out of them. And I think they're a 12 by 12. Maybe some are 10 by 10s or 10 by 12, but they're real heavy timbers. And we say mat logs or crane logs. They make crane mats out of them for the shipyards in Norfolk. I'm sure other shipyards as well, but I guess those big cranes run on them, is what I'm told. I think that's right. but it takes a certain kind of log to do it. And these water oak are a low grade log, so, and they get really big. They do. A lot of people call them a swamp oak, a water oak. Some people call them a pin oak. I think that's, when I was in forestry class in high school, that's what they called them, as a pin oak. Just to us, they're old water oak because they're a low grade log. They stink. They're nasty. All they make is pallet material and these crane mats out of the bigger ones. Well, the good thing about cutting them is they get big and you can get a lot of footage fast, but the bad thing is they never bring a lot as far as money goes. So the crane mat deal is actually a really good deal because it actually throws the price up in there because they're a little harder to come by. So, I mean, it's still not a big price, but when you get logs like this last one we cut here, I think Dad said there was nearly 500 feet in that log. I mean, that's a big chunk of wood. It was all the cat wanted to do to muscle it up off the ground. And I would almost guess when the truck gets here, I'll have to help him load those. I might have to lift one end up there and lift the other end and push. But they're big logs. Then you got just the ash. I mean, that ash, they'll make great lumber out of it. And there's some water oak top logs in there that'll go to pallet material. Some of that ash is really good. The ash with a small heart, that's the good ash. And there's some of this ash that's got big hearts in it. You see that small hearted ash there. Then they make handles and ball bats out of that, furniture. That's a good ash log there. There's not much of a heart in it. You can see this one down here. See that big heart in it? That's not a good ash. You want them snow white. But when they get big like that, those big hearts are more common in them too. Kind of see what they look like from the other side here. Just a pile of logs is what it all comes down to. Pile of logs. And we're going to try to cut another load of that type of stuff yet because there's several down here in the creek bottom that need to be cut. And a lot of them are too far gone. We stuck a saw in a couple trees today that were just shells. They were just hollow, totally hollow. And rather than cut them down and make a mess, we just left them stand because they're still producing leaves and acorns. So there ain't no need in just let nature take its course with them, but they're too far gone to be utilized for anything. No pallet material, no mats, no anything. So we just let them stand, but there's several trees in the bottom here, and tomorrow we might walk around down there and I might kind of show you, but there's so many, especially the ash, so many trees that are dead and dying. It's not only the ash, just like these walnut up here, a couple of these walnut cut bad. Well, just the whole timber's old and it's not healthy. It should have been thinned years ago. See, like that tree there. Prime example. There's another one. Yeah, this little guy here. Prime example. It's not healthy timber. Should have been harvested. Overdue. But the good thing was this land changed owners, and the new owner seen the need in harvesting, so it's a good thing he did it when he did, because, I mean, it wasn't going to get any better. Wasn't going to get any better. So we're going to sit around and wait for this truck to get here so we can load this stuff out. Then tomorrow, we'll be back here for one more day. Me and Dad, we decided at lunch that we were going to try to cut another load of that stuff because there's still some good-sized trees down there. And they need to be harvested. They need to come out. That ash and stuff does. And the landowners will appreciate it. The timber stand will appreciate it. And the wildlife should appreciate it too. So we got at least one more day here. But no more walnut, just ash. I think there's a couple bur oak down there, maybe a hackberry or two, and water oak. So all the fun stuff's, we're done cutting it. Now it's just the low grade and pallet timber. Some of that lumber type log ash. But it's something to do, and I enjoy doing it. And anytime I get to work at a creek bottom, I'm always a happy camper. That's a big pup load of logs right there. That's all those big logs from the pup. Or all the big water oak logs in the pup. And those are chunks. I think there's 8 pieces back there. Just loaded it out, so. Over here, got the ash and some other pallet type water oak logs going on the truck. He's about loaded there. He might put a few more on, but he's about full. That's just an old Serco 7000, I think, and I mean it's a good loader, but you know, if it was like a Serco 85 or a 2124 Prentice, man, she'd have manhandled those water oak logs. It'd have just picked them up like there wasn't nothing there. Those 8500 Prentices are pretty impressive. There's several trucks in our area run them. We run a lot more the Sercos around here than you see Prentices or Hoods. But we've got a Serco dealer at Ozark Machinery, and they're also a Prentice dealer, but for some reason everybody runs the Sercos more. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's a good loader, but personally I think I'd rather have a Prentice. I mean, that's just personal preference. I do like the, yeah, he was signaling me there if we're going to have any more. But yeah, I like the Prentice 2124 a lot better than I do the 8500. Let's jump off here real quick. So concludes our action-packed day in the woods. Thanks a lot for hanging out with us. We're back tomorrow on this job. We're going to cut another load of pallet-type logs or lumber-type logs. We're cutting another load of ash, more or less, is what it comes down to. So be sure to hang out for that. Then probably start moving some equipment to the next job. So awesome stuff. Thanks for hanging out. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Subscribe. Check us out on social media at Turner Logging LLC on Facebook, Turner Logging LLC on Instagram, Timber Tracker on Facebook and Instagram, and Logger Threads on Facebook and Instagram. Guys, thanks a lot. See you tomorrow.